Welcome to PostBurnout.com interviews. My name is Aaron Kavanagh and I'm the website's founder and editor-in-chief. PostBurnout.com is a culture website dedicated to venerating burnt-out artists the world over. Our interviews are mainly recorded to be transcribed, but every now and again we release the audio in a series we call PostBurnout.com interviews. If you enjoy what we do, be sure to subscribe. In this edition of PostBurnout.com interviews, we speak with the members of the Galway indie rock band The Rosecaps. Calling in the day after performing at Riverfest, they discuss performing in secondary school, going from being a school band to playing pubs to being a nationwide touring band, playing festivals such as Independence and Sea Sessions, how they adapted during the COVID-19 pandemic, their sound which marries shimmering guitar with melancholic lyrics, doing PR for themselves, playing live versus recording, and more. So I guess the first thing I'll just ask simply is just about the foundation of the band, like how you guys kind of formed, and I guess in general, what was the sort of music you were listening to when you kind of wanted to become a musician in general? What kind of made you want to become a musician?
So we all kind of became musicians separately in our own rights, and we didn't start the band till quite late in secondary school. Mm-hmm. So we were actually friends before anything else, and we were in the same music class in secondary school. Yeah, and that's when we started playing music together for the first time, because what we had to do was we had to create these. Every month we had to perform in music class, just to get us ready for our practical. And we said, we were just kind of, instead of the three of us doing it individually, we just said, well, we just do one piece together and just kind of make it easier that way. So then we started playing and just covers together and, adding harmonies and stuff like that. But that was the first time we actually started playing music together. And then we thought, okay, well, this sounds pretty good. Like we could probably take this to a pub or something like that, and that's kind of what we did. We started playing in pubs then, like cover gigs just around the town to make a bit of money. But back in the day, I don't know what I would have been listening to, a lot of Arctic Monkeys back then, and kind of the Killers and the Beatles and stuff like that. Yeah, and I know Emmett. Oh, are the lads here now?
Yeah, I just joined now. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I know Emmett for a fact was a big Oasis fan before, and Shane was a big fan of the Killers as well. So. That's kind of the music we were listening to at the time. Yeah. But that's how it all started, really, just through music class. And then we took that to the pubs and we started doing covers. But we very soon kind of realized that we wanted to write our own songs. So that's how it all started anyways.
Yeah, and actually, how old would you have been roughly, when you formed them?
Oh, I suppose, I don't know, officially, what age were we?
What year? When we started gigging, is it?
Yeah, just when the band started in general, I guess.
We were. You two were 17. I remember I was 16.
Yeah.
It was in April, and we just said we'd just do a cover gig and see how it went, and then we did a few of them during secondary school, and then COVID hit. But then, when did we play the Crush then? Was that before?
That was
COVID?
After COVID. That was was it first year or second year of college or something? But yeah, we were only 16, 17 when we started writing music. We weren't even a leaving cert at the time when we started writing our own songs.
Yeah.
So would you have been over 18 then by the time you guys actually started gigging, or were you trying to get gigs while still being underage?
No, we were doing. I remember we were definitely underage doing our first few gigs before COVID, because there was a whole the bar staff would be like, all right, make sure your friends are of age now.
Yeah,
I remember there was a lot of that. And Emmett was only 16. Yeah,
Jesus. I think when we started doing the original gigs, though, I feel like we were all over 18 because it was kind of after COVID and So we started getting the original gigs when we were a bit older.
Yeah.
But
So when it came to the project then, you guys were only really starting and then COVID hit. So what did you guys do during COVID then?
So did we release Yeah,
We
so
recorded.
COVID hit. We were in college, first year college, and it was kind of halfway through first year college is when we released our first project. It was an EP with the single as well. So that was the first thing we did, like original music wise. But before that, I remember we were still trying to navigate COVID by doing like we would record covers and put them up on our Instagram and stuff, and that kind of grew our social media a bit.
Yeah.
Like Shane, I remember Shane did a thing like we were all in our own rooms and we recorded the tracks, like, you know, and Shane put them together with the videos, and you know that kind of crack, like just virtual kind of gigging together at the same time, and those went down quite well as well. So we were just trying to grow our social media. I think through COVID was the main thing without the gigs.
Yeah. We wrote a song actually over the phone at one stage during COVID as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we kept writing. Actually, that was one thing we did. We set ourselves these challenges, to write songs over COVID, like using different words and just, you know, different themes and stuff like that. So we kept ourselves writing songs even when we couldn't write them together. We were doing our own stuff individually, and when we came back from COVID, we finally got to play them together again.
Yeah. And then so you guys kind of just like really hit the ground running then. So it seems like there was really no once the band kind of formed, I mean, it seems like you guys were continuous, like even during COVID, everything there kind of hasn't been a break. Do you find like that kind of hard work is starting to pay off? Or?
Yeah, I feel like we did an awful lot of hard work there now in the last year, even just because we took the year out of college.
Yeah.
So like just in the last year, I think we've really put the heads down, and that has been paying off kind of because we've gotten the festival slots and stuff like that. So we have seen that. But you know, the work we've put in is kind of paying off.
Yeah, I'd say one thing we definitely did was write a lot. Between September and December, we built up a good catalogue of songs, and we're kind of focused on it a little bit less now, kind of just trying to gig more. But we do have writing sessions, but it's probably not as hectic as it was from September to December, I'd say.
Yeah, we put it on ourselves. Like we treated it like a job, but like we said, right, we're going to write now from the hours of 3 to 5 or whatever. But I suppose we did lay the groundwork back during COVID, like just keeping up with the social media. That all helped. Like I suppose you wouldn't think of it, but yeah, we definitely wouldn't be doing as well right now if we hadn't recorded all those kind of covers back then, and you know, kept the social media going during COVID. But yeah.
Do you think that's an aspect of sort of music that you don't really, I guess, learn about? Like you guys are talking about learning music in secondary, like where, you know, it's more than just kind of being a musician nowadays. I mean, everyone's kind of a social media manager. Everyone's doing like, you know, PR and stuff like that. Do you find that that's something that you guys had any particular interest in, or is it just something that, like everyone else, you have to kind of it's just part of the job now?
It's a good question.
Yeah. I think it's just part of the job, you know. Definitely not something we thought we'd have to like really focus on too much when we were like starting out. But it is such a huge part, you know. Like if you're not a social media, like if you're not managing your social media right, like you're not really going to get anywhere, you know. It's just it's so influential now at this stage.
Sorry.
No, go on.
Even the side of PR, like when we took the year out of college last year, and we moved in together briefly, and like every morning we would wake up and we would put an hour or two aside just to fucking answer emails, get our like try and text other bands for support slots, like that kind of administration stuff. Oh my god, we must have sent, I couldn't tell you how many emails we sent, like between every song we released. You know, we're putting out our own press release, like that kind of thing. And I don't know, it is interesting to see it, but I feel like, you know, the music was nearly the thing that came naturally to us, like writing the songs and arranging them and recording them in the studio. But then when it came to this whole other side of it, like that was really where the work was done, I think. Yeah. The hard work anyway.
When I think about your music, I think it has a very kind of sort of sunny kind of vibrancy, but with a kind of underlying kind of melancholy to it too. I don't know if you think that's a fair assessment, but I was wondering, do you think that's like an agreed upon sound from the get go, or is that just something that kind of developed when you guys were kind of working as a unit?
Yeah,
But I
So-
think it's not something we thought too much about. I don't think. We kind of realized the last day we don't have any happy songs, and that wasn't
Lyrically,
by
like,
design.
yeah.
lyrically.
Yeah, lyrically, it wasn't by design, anyways. We all kind of just the songs we write are all quite melancholic. Like they're just, yeah, there's nothing too happy about them. But yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, it wasn't really. We didn't really decide. Oh, here we'll write songs about this, whatever. It's just kind of what we naturally kind of wrote about.
Yeah.
And we were
It
in a
is-
session.
It's so interesting how, because like I think we in our music, it's a bit of a pessimistic worldview, like, or whatever, but naturally the riffs and like the actual music of it was all kind of earwormy and catchy, and you know, it's just funny. Like even our first single, 1800 Hours, like, which is by far and away our most popular song, like it's quite upbeat. It's got a catchy synth line to it and everything. But Jesus, it's not a very happy song at all. Like it's about a lad ruining his life, really. And
Yeah.
it's so funny that you picked up on that, because we only kind of picked up on it recently. Like Shane said, when we were like, right, we were planning for a headline gig, and we said, right, we'll do a kind of a love song now in the middle to get people dancing or whatever. And we were like, we don't have a single song that is positive like that in any way.
Yeah.
And it just happened naturally, and it's so interesting to look back on it now.
Yeah.
Probably
And
says
then,
a lot about us, but
sorry?
it probably says a lot about us. That
Yeah, so then speaking of your new single then, so yeah, I mean how do you feel like, I guess, your music then has like kind of I guess sort of differed, or how do you feel like your music is now evolving? Because you were talking about like releasing EPs and stuff, and like I was wondering, are you gearing up towards a new EP or even a full length album, or is at the moment the idea just singles?
I don't know. I think it's something we always ask ourselves, and we never really land on what with the right answer. You get so much different advice from different people in the industry saying, "Oh, singles are the way to go," or EPs or albums. Like, but yeah, we've done 2 EPs so far, and we've got about 5 or 6 singles. Then, I mean, we definitely have enough music for two albums nearly, you know. But it's just, yeah, it's so hard to navigate the industry and what the right decision is, because at the end of the day, we want our music to be heard. So whichever the best way to do, you know, whatever the best way to get as many streams, I suppose, or get as much exposure, is probably how we're going to keep going until we can build a bit of a fan base. But yeah, it's a tough one. We don't really know the answer ourselves.
Okay. And then recently you guys were playing a bunch of festivals, Independence, Sea Sessions, Riverfest. I was wondering, like, because you were talking about the kind of social media aspect, I mean, how much do you think, like, you know, social media is obviously a good way of building a platform and getting recognition, but how much do you think playing live actually kind of compares, I guess, in terms of like building up a fan base? How do you feel that playing live and actually getting in front of people in that way compares to actually, you know, doing social media?
I think the playing live, it's definitely, we found it's definitely necessary anyways, because people need to hear what your songs sound like live. In terms of like building a fan base though, it definitely helps, but I don't think, like, I feel like what we found anyways is it hasn't been the main push. Like, it hasn't been how we've gotten our like the fan base that we have. I think that's like, we've nearly gotten most of it over Spotify and streams and stuff like that, rather than on like playing live. I think the playing live it's literally just for the people who have kind of listened to our music already, like have kind of found us already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then again, I do think that just getting those kind of festival slots and playing them, like we love it. We absolutely love playing live. So that's an advantage in and of itself. But even just generate, like, we might not see the followers come from a 30-minute slot at Sea Sessions, but like, it's always generating that hype, you know, like getting your word out there. Like, the word of mouth thing is crucial. So we might play Riverfest there yesterday, like, we got maybe 4 or 5 followers off it, like, but I suppose the main goal isn't to translate them into into followers on your Instagram. It's just spreading the word, getting the Rose Caps out there as like the next band to go see if you miss them or whatever. And like, you never know who could be in the audience. Like we've been, we've heard there might be some important people at these kind of festivals. So we're like, well, let's just put on the best show we can and just, we'll hope for the best.
How do you cater a festival slot compared to like a headline slot? I mean, I guess with a headline slot you'd have more, I guess, time, but in general, just like the audience, like at a headline slot, are there to see you? Where at a festival slot, it's like you're just one band of many.
It's a very good question. Yeah, definitely is different.
Yeah. So how do you feel that you kind of differ the set, I guess, based on that?
I feel like one thing we've realized recently is that we have to play as if it's a headline or whatever, like we really have to give it just as much socks as if everyone knew the lyrics, and I suppose when we're playing in festivals and people don't know the songs as well, we try and emphasize the kind of catchy words, and maybe slow it down and emphasize where they can sing along and clap along or wherever. But yeah, I suppose we do try and keep the same energy though, as if everyone did know the songs.
And one thing that's very interesting is the arrangement of the songs and the track list of the set list will definitely be different, because when we have a half an hour support slot or half an hour set of C sessions, it's like we've kind of found what we just want to bring the energy. So like at our headline, we kind of slowed it down for a while. We did a few of our slow songs. They went down really, really well actually, but we didn't even consider doing them for these shorter sets, because it's just about bringing the energy, leaving everything out on the stage for people to enjoy. And Emmett's absolutely right. We're only starting to recently develop our stage presence and stuff, but I don't know, one band that we've seen play at C sessions was Thumper. And I think we learned a lot from them, because they didn't have the biggest crowd. They've played to much bigger crowds, but they went out there and they played that gig like it was Malahide Castle. They absolutely went they went bananas, like, when that's their thing. But we were like, right, we need to bring that now, no matter what. Even if people don't know the songs and we know they don't know the songs, we're just going to play them as if they know every word and as if they're here to see us. And it made a big difference, I think.
That's sick. Yeah. And also one thing I was just wondering as well is like, so when you guys are doing shows, you kind of, I guess, fish for the next single. Do you kind of look at the audience reception and go, oh shit, that's the one we should release? Or do you listen to immediate feedback like that? Or do you just kind of go, no, we have our own kind of trajectory in our mind, we're going to focus on that?
I think because we have a few, like, obviously core, like, people that we listen to, and they'll go to a few of our shows and say what they think, like, but we definitely would be noticing, like, if we're playing a song and everybody's singing along, even if it's not out on Spotify, it's a good sign, so it's probably like we'd be leaning more towards that sort of those like catchier songs. Like if people are picking up on them that fast, it's a good thing, but as like from the songs that we've released, we have actually just kind of gone with whatever we were thinking. Like, I don't think the live shows has influenced it massively.
It's always something in the background, like it's a factor, but I don't think we've ever played a song and then been like, suddenly our mind was changed by the audience. Said, oh, that's one we have to do. Now maybe because we haven't got a huge, massive moment of magic like that just yet, but it's something to consider. But yeah, as Shane said, all the songs we put out so far have kind of been the ones we wanted to put out ourselves personally.
Yeah, I think as well now we're probably a little more conscious of the timing of the songs, like because we're releasing them as singles now. We like on our EP, most of the songs were around 4 minutes. So I think for just for radio play, even I think we're a little bit more conscious that the single needs to be a little bit shorter than a song you throw in an EP.
Yeah. So that's everything I had to ask. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up, or?
Not that I can think of, really.
No, I think it's all good. You have you worked with Case or Jaw Dropper before?
Yeah, I forget which ones because I have a bunch on like the back burner, but yeah, I have worked with Jaw Dropper before.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks very much for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
No bother.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks a million.
Take care.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to that episode of PostBurnout.com interviews. We hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for more.